New Avatar series got announced and people are talking about it in droves, and I want to speak on it right now because people are complaining that the Avatar is an earthbender with a disability, and they're saying this is just DEI placement in shows. Now this is fun to me because I remember an earthbender that also had a disability, and this was the greatest character of all time. That's right. I'm talking about the Blind Bandit, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Toph Beifong, the one and only to do it, the greatest earthbender to ever do it, the creator of metal bending, the master of Republic City when it came to police officing. We love to see it. Now, on a side tangent, I love the original Avatar. It's my favorite thing of all time. Avatar, The Last Airbender, was one of the greatest series to grace my existence on Nickelodeon. I didn't expect it to be so emotionally impactful. I didn't expect the voice acting to be peak. I didn't expect Azula to be so conniving. And that's right, manipulative and conniving. I made a new word. I didn't expect this little girl who was bred for war to be so outstanding. I didn't expect Fire Lord Ozai to be that great of a villain. However, the fact that we didn't see him until about season 3, the fact that he was so hidden, the fact that he was the main big bad, the fact that he was the reason for everything. There's so much history and lore behind the first thing. It was almost impossible to follow up because it was 100 years. 100 years of waiting for the hero, the savior, and it was a vegan. You got saved by a vegan, a pacifist vegan. Maybe that they should have said that was DEI, but that's just monk territory. And we had a whole DEI crew in the first one. We had 2 Inuits. Right, 2 Inuits, 2 black people essentially. That's what I'm gonna call them, Sokka and Katara. A woman who was very powerful, Katara, greatest waterbender I've seen in a while, could bloodbend, powerful, great woman. Taught Aang, a small, frail white boy, bald, beaming with veganism. We had Toph Beifong, who by all stretch of the word was disabled, couldn't see, but didn't let that take them down. This was important. Now, I know a lot of people have been using the argument of the new Avatar. There's no reason for her to be disabled because, guess what? Toph being blind helped her feel the earth. Who knows what's going to happen with the new Avatar having a disability? Maybe they used their foot to have a wind foot or a fire foot, and they'll be able to heat it up and metal bend their foot to do certain things, and they'll have a metal replacement, and they'll be able to metal bend it to do super cool things. I'm hopeful for the potential, but we must not forget what the potential brought us last time. That's right, Legend of Korra. I'm going to talk about it because I'm one of the few people on the planet that don't hate it with my whole chest. I do think it's a bad show if you don't watch... I think it's a bad show if you watch Avatar, Last Airbender. If you just watch Korra, not that bad of a show. The fight choreography is amazing. There's a few plot contrivances. I don't like the Dark Avatar in Season 2. I don't like Unalaq. I don't enjoy him at all. I don't like when they explain the magic. A show loses all of its value when it explains the magic. In Avatar 1, the explanations of the magic, nobody really wants explanations of the magic. They want reasons for it, but not explanations. Let me explain what I mean. In Season 1 of Avatar, they explained that the badger moles made earthbending, and Toph Beifong learned from the originals. They explained the fire dragons made firebending, and that was the mysticism of what it was. When Aang and Zuko learned the fire dragon dance, that was the mysticism of what it was. And we learned waterbending from the water spirit and all these other aspects. That was the mysticism of what it was. But when you went to explain everything, how the lion turtles gave people bending in Season 2, that's a retcon. That is a retcon of the explanation. You are now explaining too much. You're giving too much of an explanation and not giving the reason behind it. That's an issue. That's an issue with Season 2 of Legend of Korra. And Korra was primarily a bad avatar. That's nature versus nurture. The nature of Aang was he was a kind, vegan, soulful person. He didn't get a chance to learn everything he needed to, but through his own nature, being kind, he did not kill the Fire Lord. However, Korra, the first antagonist of Korra died. He died. I don't know if you remember that. He died. That happened. I don't know if you remember Amon. He died. He ended himself, but he died. Second, the Dark Avatar, pretty sure he died too. Zahir, he didn't die, but he was going to die. People died around Zahir. That was a whole thing. Kuvira got in prison. So this is important because this destroys what we knew from Avatar, because it's a completely different Avatar. But this is to show you, this is important because I like Korra. I don't hate the show in its entirety. Every Avatar is different. All of them. Avatar Kyoshi was on business. She was like, we killing this, we murdering him. We will take his soul. As a matter, I switch bodies. Aang, switch bodies. He was amazing. We loved him deeply. And then whole thing, Avatar Roku sucked. He was a bad Avatar. He could have took out his best friend, didn't decide not to do it. He sucked. We don't talk about Roku because we didn't get his whole story. There are other ones that suck, but we got the history and stories of snippets of their lives that could have expanded deeper with the lore, but we got snippets of what they were. The issue came when we got deeper explanations. When bloodbending became poultry for everybody, you didn't have to be under the guise of the full moon to use bloodbending, because I believe her name was Haman. The woman who told Katara about bloodbending right here. And then later, we got this guy, Al Capone of bloodbending. He was able to bloodbend in the full daylight. And then Aang locked in. This meme originated right here. This meme right here originated when Aang locked in. Boom, locked in. So that happened there. That's important. This is an important aspect there. So Korra wasn't good because it destroyed something we loved already. It retconned. That's why we hated it. But if you just watch Korra by its own merits, pretty good show. I like it. If I showed Korra to somebody who never saw Avatar: Last Airbender, they enjoyed it. So it was a great show. Like the fights, like Korra, like the journey she went through, like her struggles, like the aspect of her being a woman in black. It was amazing. Like the dark skin on the woman, it felt great. That was fun. Even if she was Inuit, still black skin, dark skin, minority, that was great for them. They enjoyed every aspect of the show. And it was never brought up that the Korra had dark skin, by the way. It was never brought up. That's what people that complain about DEI like. They enjoy when it's not brought up. The fact that they're black, that's their biggest complaint. Just wanted to bring that up, by the way. So this show was great. This show, Korra, on its own merits, great show. However, we see what happens when we're given more, right? We see what happens when we ask for too much. And that's why people are scared about the new Avatar show, because they saw how the protagonist looked and said, oh, it's a little girl with a bum foot. She sucks. She's paraplegic or something of that variety. She can't use her foot. She's disabled. Seems to be the biggest thing they talk about. They don't care if she's an earthbender. They don't care about the Avatar cyclical cycle. They don't care about the fact that Korra, I believe, destroyed the entire Avatar cycle so they can't get information from the previous Avatars, because that was the entire thing where Avatars would get information. It was a soul cyclical cycle of how they got the soul spirit and advice from previous Avatars. That was the whole thing. That's gone, I believe, because of Korra, because she got the spirit whipped out of it. I would like them to retcon that. I would like a way to restore the links of past Avatars. That'd be beautiful. If they could do that in a new show, I'll be happy. I don't view this as a way to destroy and demean the series. I view this as a way to expand and fix what Korra did, because it is stated in what I saw from the synopsis of the show to fix what Korra did in the world ruined by Avatar Korra. It's what I'm seeing all around. There are bad Avatars. However, Korra was not a bad show. Just because the protagonist of the show did bad things does not make the show bad. Look at Breaking Bad. I'm not trying to compare Legend of Korra to Breaking Bad, by the way. Breaking Bad is the greatest piece of cinema to ever grace the planet. I want to point that out right now. But I do want to point out that hating on Legend of Korra is not going to make the new Avatar show better. That's not happening. I want to enjoy the show and go on with an open mind and going without the preconceived notions. It will always be compared to its predecessors. That's where a lot of the legacy and a lot of the reason why you're going to watch the show is because you're craving to get Aang again. I grasp it. I understand. I know what you mean. I want to see Aang again too. I want to see my boy. I would love it if they just talked about Aang more, but we got that. We got that in the comics. I don't know if you read the comic series. These suck. Dude, these are the worst things to ever exist. Do you want to know why we enjoyed Avatar Legend, The Last Airbender? Reason we enjoy Avatar Last Airbender is because we didn't know anything. It's the mystery of it. It's the journey of Zuko becoming a more centered person. It's Azula not changing but getting mentally broken. It's Toph going against her family. It's Aang understanding what he must do. Will he go against his morals? We don't know. It's him rejecting firebending. It's Katara becoming more centered. It's Sokka being misogynistic and then understanding through the Kyoshi warriors what it is to be more. What are the character journeys of Korra? She gets beat and is basically just tortured PORN of Korra for a long time. I don't like any of the Mako. I don't like Bolin. I don't like them at all. He learns lava bending for no reason, it seems. There was no journey to lava bending. There was no grasp of that. I don't know what Asami's doing. I guess they're lesbians. That's cool. They just made a lesbian do bad things, is what I saw. They moved in too fast. That's the entire show. That's all I'm saying. It's hateful. I don't enjoy it. But I think Legend of Korra without Avatar is a good show. That's what I believe. However, it is on the heels of perfection. A show that seemingly had no flaws because of how they did its villains, how Fire Lord Ozai was portrayed, how he was the big bad with just evil portrayed, no room for sympathy, how we saw his children, the ripples of the anger that he wrought as a toxic masculine man, the beauty of Iroh. There was no Iroh in Legend of Korra. There was none of that. There was no true character journeys. There was no chase. There was no mysticism because we knew already. We knew. You can't strike. You can't have lightning strike twice in the same location. You can't force it. And hopefully, they don't try to force it with this new protagonist here. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we can get a whole new show and new stuff. That's what I want. That'd be great. But who knows? My eyes are open. My ears are open. And I'm ready to see what they do. So let me know what you think about the new Avatar. I just want to talk about this. I don't usually talk about this stuff on my channel, but it's been coming up a lot. So bye.